Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube project. My name is Williams, follow me, and if you are new to this channel, thank you for joining in. I think a quick reintroduction about what this project is about. It's about me documenting my journey slash process from just completing college and how I am looking forward to transitioning into real world, just to see what I can contribute and hopefully to then become somebody who contributes largely. But yeah, for today's video I just want to do a not so detailed day in the life, so to speak, because right now I moved to Lagos as per my last video. I think about a couple of weeks now. I honestly don't remember how long I've been in Lagos, but I'd say roughly like about a month, and so far so good. I've been up to a lot of stuff, and today I just kind of want to take you around on my work process, what I'm up to, and the progress I've made overall, and what I then look forward to doing, especially with the progress I've made. And yeah, so with all of that being said, let's get into today's episode. Right now I'm done cleaning. I've got a little bit of laundry to do. Today is not particularly packed. That's because I've done most of the work that I needed to do through the week. I did most of it by yesterday and the day before. Today is kind of like just today being a Saturday is just work, clean, football, perhaps football. Not particularly sure about play. I could just go watch the boys or something, get back, do laundry, and perhaps just come and finish up this video. I just have like a couple of things to do. I think maybe one thing that I would have left is I'm currently taking a course on digital intelligence, so I'm possibly going to finish that today. I've got a work simulation thing for MasterCard. It was sent to me by my friend and I completed that as well. I don't know if I completed it or if I have to complete it today, but I'll check. There is that, and then I also have like a couple of projects that I'm collaborating on at the moment. I've got a few documents to design for the pitch decks, and also like a couple of other things to write for contribution on another project. And I think once I'm done with laundry now anyways, I would just see what comes through. Alright, right now I've got a couple of things going on. I'm currently doing laundry, and I didn't really decide to do much with sports, to be honest. But anyways, right now I'm seated at my desk and I just currently want to just look through on updates as to things I've been working on. Mentioned, I'm currently collaborating on a couple of different side projects, and as well as trying to finish my coursework. I decided to go check out the field. I didn't really do much of any sports, to be honest. I just checked it out, and I decided that I wasn't particularly feeling up to it, so I basically just came back home. Right now, what I've got like a list, but I honestly cannot find my little logbook where I usually write out the things that I have planned out for today. But like I mentioned, it's a light day, to be honest. It's not a very work heavy day. However, with the things that I would be working on today, there are a couple of things that I have learned, and not like I'm just realizing them for the first time, but over time I've just sort of let them conveniently skip my mind. However, right now with my current experience now out of the university, there are a couple of things that they're like, yeah, they're right there in your face. As of this point, I have completed the job simulation for MasterCard, and then I am about 90% done with digital intelligence, and I also took one other one from PwC by Forage. I possibly could link it somewhere in the description perhaps. But yeah, I'm done with those, and I also did a little bit of design, which I think at this point is just find suitable images for the document, and then that is done. And all through, I would say so far so good. It's been a decent morning, to be honest. Through the week I have been also looking through my experience with university and how that has now brought me here, and also I've been thinking about how university is going to play a role into my future, because before I go into the university I always used to believe, alongside many other people, with a very popular quote, which is school is a scam. Depending on who you are, your background, and what you've been through, it could depend. But I would say for me, largely now with my certification courses, I would say it has hugely contributed. However, there is a very interesting dynamic that I have noticed, particularly maybe I would say perhaps with the courses I have taken so far, which is The theoretical part of your learning is like, I'd say it's kind of like 30%. I would say the real learning happens when you start to do real projects. I have started a project, but I'm nowhere into the project. I don't know if that makes sense. I've set up the environment, it's looking good. I've put tools together and try to like make it look like the actual thing. However, compared to when I was like reading the documents, going through the videos and all of that, it kind of like seemed pretty straightforward, but like doing it in the actual sense kind of like brought a new tune to it. One thing I would point out is school is great, but it's really not going to teach you everything, but I believe it's great for guidance. It could guide you in the right direction to explore, but like the real learning is really going to happen by yourself. If you are currently in the university or about to get into the university and you are thinking or hoping that you can lean on everything you are going to be taught in school, you possibly would want to check that again, because school is great. Again, it is great, and you would learn a lot, not just from your classes but also from people you meet around when you socialize. But yes, you have to put in the efforts to actually make your learning personal, because again, the approach is quite generic. You've got a teacher teaches the subject, everybody listens to the same content, however we'll kind of like assimilate it differently, and you want to change that for yourself, or at least you want to improve on that by yourself. That way it's easier when you get into the real world, like myself. Another thing is, I have also been very privileged. I'm not going to deny that fact. Very privileged into the aspect that I've got opportunities and I've also got support. I've got a ton of support. Most of it did come from asking, and most of it also did come from just good graces of friends and people that I have known over the years, and this has also contributed to my own personal experience. I would understand that not everybody would have the same struggles as me, and not everyone is going to have the same privilege as me, and what I would want you to learn from this is to take advantage of the privilege you've got, because really we all have different phases, we have different lives, different problems, and we would always be at different levels. Whatever level you are in, you can make the most of it if you are thoughtful towards it and perhaps just willing to ask for help. Because for myself, growing up, asking for help, it wasn't particularly like a thing. However, with growing older and like meeting people and then just having great friends around, asking got easier, and asking for help is really going to help you out a lot. Believe me, a whole lot. Because just a simple conversation and like, hey, hi, could you by chance XYZ. Although I would also mention there is a good way to ask and there is a bad way to ask, but maybe I might touch on that like in a different video, because you could want to ask something in a well-meaning way, but you could also come off wrong and possibly not get the thing you're looking for. There is also that part. But yes, asking would help you out a lot if you just can find the confidence in yourself to ask, and again, ask right. So totally to notice, in school we were taught to sort of like specialize, because like for my degree I studied cybersecurity. However, I would say if you're in the university, or even if you're outside of the university, it would be a great idea if you have a diverse set of skills, to be honest, because for the project I'm currently collaborating on, most of them don't particularly pick skills from my interest in cybersecurity, to be honest, because I collaborate more on creative skills. Right now, with the opportunities I've got and with the projects I'm able to contribute on, they are mostly creative skills that I have gathered over the years and also through college and over time. Writing, design, editing, which by this video or by my YouTube channel you can tell it's not particularly best yet, but other things like content, just basically putting things together. You want to have a diverse pool of skill sets, to be honest. You don't want to be a one-trick pony. I think when you advance, I believe anyways, when you advance, there would be need for more specialists. However, I would say perhaps if you are starting from the beginning, again, this is my personal advice, I would not say this is a one-size-fits-all type of advice. Someone could tell you differently and they could be right depending on your circumstance. However, I would say from my experience, if you would be starting out, it's not going to be a bad idea if you know how to do a couple of different things. Good. You might not be able to do all of them well, but perhaps if you're able to like do it good enough, you would be able to get more opportunities, and then possibly from there things could lead in directions that would turn out for the best, to be honest. And now that I think about it, I feel like one thing that has contributed to my progress so far is just also the willingness to say yes, even without monetary gain. I'm still kind of like one leg in, one leg out on this, to be honest, because it's still a tricky thing for me, because I want to be able to take opportunities that I could also gain some monetary value from, because right now I'm in Lagos, and I will not just say Lagos alone, but like anywhere really is quite expensive, and you'd need money to be able to survive and do basic things. But I would still be willing or be open to take opportunities even if they don't offer monetary gain. I would say the best part is if you can get opportunities where you can learn and earn, that would be like the best case scenario. However, if you can learn, I think that would be like the second best. If you just simply earn but you're not learning, that is still okay, because in a way we've all still got to make a living one way or another. So that would be like the best. But if you're like not doing either, if you're not learning, you're not earning, I would simply just find the door and go do something else. But currently I'm saying yes to a handful of opportunities that don't particularly offer monetary gain as of now. However, there is prospect, and I'm kind of like still learning a couple of things that I did not pick up with my previous experiences. I mean, so far so good. I would say it's good for networking and also good for building experience. However, yes, I would still have the responsibilities to then also go seek for opportunities that would earn me money. There is that part, and I'm still looking forward to it. I've got like a couple that I'm still working on, but none of it is particularly on the mark. And with service NYSC basically coming up in like what now, maybe like a couple of weeks, I kind of like really need to figure it out rather quickly and just like see how it goes. But again, like I said, with my situation, I am privileged and I kind of don't really need to stress a whole lot. But that's what I'd say. Maybe take that part with a little bit of salt if you. And I think one final note would be to simply just put in efforts. Believe me, nothing really happens without the efforts. You can decide, okay, you want to do XYZ. Now, for instance, I've got like on my screen, I've got like a ton of tabs that they're just like open down for courses that look fancy and I'd like to take. But none of that is going to be mine, or I've not been able to showcase any of those experiences if I really did not put in the effort. You've really got to put in the effort, and especially if you are still young in your 20s like I am, you hopefully are in good health and you are able to kind of like burn, I'm not going to say burn yourself to the ground or burn your health, but simply put in efforts longer than people who are at more advanced ages. That means you can work twice as hard, and if you are willing to work twice as hard, to be honest, I know I'm not even working twice as hard, so maybe that's like with tongue-in-cheek. However, but I would still say if you've got the energy and you've got the resources and you can work twice as hard, you possibly would be able to accomplish more in a shorter space of time, and that would altogether compound to your growth in whatever area or industry you're in. Be willing to put in effort, because that's how we make anything work or anything happen, to be honest. Anyways, one final thing I think I would like to add is to always find a way, or at least when you can, find a way to provide value. And speaking of value, one of the things that I have currently struggled with so far with this couple of weeks is scoring an internship. I haven't been able to get an internship as to anywhere really. I have reached out to a couple of firms, submitted my curriculum vitae, I think that's what's called, to also a couple of places, but I think right now I have come to the realization that I possibly do not have the skill level that these firms might do require for an internship. This is not to say that I am not hopeful or not confident. I'm simply just being honest with myself. I can do a couple of things, but with the roles that I would really like to get into, they would seem a little too advanced for my current scope. However, I have decided to, with the help of a few friends as well, friends are always great, believe me, to start a project. And this project is going to be like a project that we would use to then give ourselves the experience we're looking for. It's like a side personal project type thing, and I possibly will be sharing that with you guys in the weeks to come. We're currently still in the planning phases. I've got like a couple of calls, meetings to basically attend, and to just to see how we can like bring the whole scope together. But value is one thing you always want to look out to contribute, because if you kind of add value, you're kind of like taking up space, and you are taking up space for possibly someone who could bring in value and just make things work better. Yes, look to add value. And right now I'm running behind time because I've still got a ton of things to check out, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to film any of it. So if I can, I would add it to this clip. If I can't, then I guess this is where I'm simply just going to say until next time, be safe.